Ready to roll.
Hey everyone, today we're going to make a day in the life of a doctor, and right now I'm about to go to sleep. I've got my night shift coming up. It's 5:30 p.m. I'm starting my first night and I haven't really slept today, so I'm going to have a few hours of sleep now before I start my night shift at 9:30. And we're going to see how this night goes. Hopefully we can record some content along the way if we have a little bit of time, and just show you guys what it's like to be a junior doctor on a night shift in New Zealand. Before I start my nights, I have a little pre-night routine, if you like, more of just to help me get a few hours of sleep before starting nights. So let's get to a couple of things. Okay, so before night, when I sleep, it's nice and bright. I don't have light-proof shades or curtains, so what I need instead are some good, what do you call these things? Eye covers? Eye masks. Instead of good eye masks, that gives a bit of compression. I like a little bit of compression on my eyes when I sleep. It just makes it a little bit more comfortable, and the main thing is it needs to block out all the light so they can sleep properly and don't get disturbed by the light. The other thing is some of these earplugs, and I just pop them in and go to sleep.
Feels so weird.
It's noisy during the day. I don't like wearing big headphones, noise cancelling headphones. I just don't find it as comfortable sleeping with them because I like to sleep on my side, and then you just can't do it. So little simple earplugs, eye masks, get some sleep, and we'll see you guys in a couple of hours. Whenever I put something in my ears, just give me shivers.
Here we go.
So we've managed to sleep for a couple of hours, and now we're going to have some food, then have a quick power nap, and then it'll be time for our shift. Let's get ready for this. It's now 9 o'clock, so let's get to the hospital.
Ready to roll.
Starting our shift. Hey everyone, so we're about 2/3 of the way through the night. Right now it's 3:30 in the morning. We've wrapped up most of our jobs. Everything is settled for the moment, which is why I'm able to make this video. Energy levels, okay so far. And yesterday we managed to get a couple of hours of sleep, had some lunch, went to the beach, went up the mount. Decently active day I'd say, but still fairly relaxed, not doing anything that's too stressful. Then I took a nap from 5:30, woke up again around 8. I can't really sleep very well during the day. I was hoping to sleep for 3.5 hours, managed to get 2.5, better than nothing. We're gonna chill out here for a little bit, do a little bit of this vlogging stuff, and see how we go. We might get paged about new things, more patients to see, but usually by 3 o'clock, if everything is finished, then things tend to stay fairly settled, fingers crossed. We'll expect to have a few more reviews in the morning. Let's see how it goes. Maybe we can even get a couple of hours of sleep tonight. Duty call. Let's go do this review. What are nights like? Should we just run through how nights work really? So on a typical night, you start off with a handover. You meet up with the other doctors who have been on long days. You get a handover from them about patients you need to see, patients they are worried about, and patients that might be sick or dying. So it's all expected if something happens and you're not left in the dark wondering what's going on with a particular sick patient. Now after that, what I tend to do is figure out what's going on in the hospital. We have an online system where we can see the different patients in their bed spaces, and the nurses can allocate jobs for each patient that they want us to do. For instance, if a person has chest pain, they'll put it up on there and say patient X in bed space 54 has some chest pain, please come review. So we'll have that system, so I'll look through and figure out where the patients are and find the urgent jobs that I need to do first. Once that's done, then I can kind of plan out what my night's gonna look like, which wards I'm gonna start off with, do all the urgent jobs. If there's some easy jobs that I can do while I'm there, I'll get that done and out of the way. Of course, if there's something a bit more pressing, then I will go off to do that. Working my way through the wards, I'll do the most urgent jobs, so things like reviewing chest pains, patients who are acutely unwell, vital signs are going off, getting really short of breath, new infection, anything that would worry you, you'll go and see them first. Now there might be a few minor jobs like charting someone's medication, an IV line for an antibiotic that is due later on in the night or in the day. Those aren't quite as time sensitive, so it's a matter of just prioritizing what you need to get done Once those are done and out of the way, you know that you are safe. Those patients will be looked after. There's a plan, and then you can go and do other niggly jobs that are floating around the place. Now during that time, nurses will call as well if new problems arise, or if I've been stuck in a ward and been really busy but someone else is also sick on another ward that I haven't got around to checking on, then a nurse might call me up and say, hey, I'm really worried about this patient, can you come and see them? So that's kind of how I would structure my night. Over here we start night at 10 o'clock during the week, and that runs until 8 in the morning. On weekends we start at 9:30 and once again finish at around 8 o'clock. Now in the middle of the night you get hungry, so always remember to pack some food and something to drink as well. For me personally, I don't like to have a big meal in the middle of the night. If I eat too much, then I get really tired and groggy. So what I tend to do is have something to drink. I like to have something cold and refreshing, so a cold Coke is quite nice, and something to eat. Personally, I'm a more savory person. I'm not a big fan of too much sweet food. So what I tend to do is have little packets of tuna and crackers that is nice and easy to carry. They have them in our staff caf, so I just kind of load up on a couple of those during the day so that I can take to my night shift, and that's a little snack. And I might have something else, some fruit, an apple or a peach, something else that's a little bit more refreshing. So have some food, makes you feel less hungry so you're not feeling uncomfortable, and gives you a bit more energy to go through the night. Depending on how the night go, I tend to eat around 1 o'clock. That's when I start to feel a bit hungrier, and also that's usually about the time where most of the urgent stuff are done, and maybe even quite a few of the non-urgent stuff sorted.
It's 12:30 and we finished all the
So I
jobs.
can go, have a wee break, and then come back, chip away the rest of the job, and then if there's time, grab some sleep. That's my preference, how I like to do my night shift. It's a bit different for everyone. Some people prefer not to eat at all. Some people want to sit down and have a proper meal. So it's just a matter of seeing what it's like for you and adjusting accordingly. There's only an hour and a half to go. 90 minutes, then I'm out of here. Tips for doing night shifts. Tips. So how can you make your night as good as possible? Being on a night shift, you're the only doctor covering a lot more beds than you would during the day. For us, we're covering all of medicine and all of the surgical specialties in the hospital. The only specialties we're not covering is pediatrics and O&G, and ED does their own thing. But everyone else is under your responsibility now. So how do you make sure you get around to sorting everything in an efficient and timely manner without stressing out? You don't want to be too stressed, because that will impair your thinking and your ability to make sound decisions. So how do you do that? Do everything well, keep on top of all of your responsibilities at the same time. It's a juggling act, but there are things that I find you can do to help make it easier. One of the most useful tips I find is to use your phone a lot. What I mean by that, if someone's on a different ward, call up the ward and check in on their patient if they don't need a physical review. If it's someone who needs a medication charted, they're in a bit of pain and just need a bit of pain relief, I'll pick up the phone and make a phone order for some pain relief. Now, if you're in a bigger center and you've got more up-to-date technology, then you might have e-prescribing, so you don't even need to leave wherever you're working. You can just prescribe on a computer. Unfortunately, in my current hospital, everything is paper-based. All our notes are paper, all our referrals are mostly paper as well, and our drug charts are paper. That means I have to physically go somewhere to write down the medications I want. I can't just sit at a computer, but I can pick up a phone and do a phone order. What happens is a nurse will take the order and they'll get another nurse to listen to my order again so that we can confirm that we're all on the same page and we're prescribing the right dose of the right medication for the right patient. So there's a few more safety checks, but that means I can be on one side of the hospital prescribing something for a patient on the other side without having to run across myself. What I like to do is also, if someone does need a review and it's not too urgent, I might call up, get a plan, an understanding of what's going on for the patient from the nurse, and make a plan from there. If it's someone that I do need to see, I also like to call up first. Then I have an idea of what the background for the patient is like, what the nurse is worried about, and make a plan for them to carry out while I make my way over to the ward. For instance, if someone is deteriorating and not looking very good, vitals are off the charts, blood pressure is low, heart rate is up, breathing really fast, what I might do is get the nurse to repeat the set of obs again, do an ECG depending on what the problem is, and get the ball rolling while I make my way across the hospital to find them. This way, things are already getting done. I know that there's a plan in place and the patient will be safe enough before I arrive, and it buys me time to think about what I need to do as I make my way across the ward. All of this makes the night go a little bit smoother, a little bit easier, while everything still gets done in a timely manner. And the more nights you do, everything just gets a little bit smoother and smoother. The good thing I like about nights is that as a house officer, this is your time to actually be a doctor. Oftentimes a house officer turns into a bit of a glorified scribe. Your seniors make a lot more of the decisions and you just regurgitate that onto the page. And you don't really get to make the decisions yourself. On nights, you're it. You have to make the decision. If you don't, well, nothing's going to get done. So you learn to make those decisions, but you still have the safety net of the registrars who are on nights with you, who you can turn to for help. But of course, they're busier reviewing sicker patients that need registrar reviews or admitting new patients coming into the hospital. So you will be the first port of call when the ward staff have concerns, and you can escalate that to your registrars as needed. And it's a great opportunity to really test your skills as a doctor and train you up so that once you reach a registrar level, you are capable of managing those problems because you've seen them before. So biggest piece of advice, use a phone, get more information, helps you triage the patient, gives you time to think, gives you time to make your way there while making sure the patient is safe and well cared for and that a plan is in place. Second piece of advice, eat and snack on the job. What that looks like for you might be different from me. Everyone has their preference for what they eat on a night shift. What I'd say is experiment. I did something different every single night for my first lot of nights, and now I've found something that works pretty well for me. Coffee. Do you drink coffee on a night shift? Sometimes I do, most of the times I don't. Personally, I try not to have any sort of dependency on coffee or any drugs or medications in general. That is so that I don't have to be dependent on it to function properly. Sometimes I'll treat myself and have a coffee, so if I really feel like it, I'd have one, sure. But it's not something that I need to make sure I get through the night. It's now 4 o'clock, so let's see what the rest of this night shift brings. We're gonna have a nap. Hopefully all goes well to the end of the night and we can go home, rest up, maybe do a few more activities during the day. Let's see how we go. See you soon. It's 7 o'clock, so let's grab some breakfast. Now the hospital cafe has recently changed up their breakfast menu. You can have a selection of hash browns, bacon, eggs, and baked beans. So it's like a proper hot cooked breakfast. And I had some and it's pretty good, I gotta say. So it's 8:05. We've now handed off all our pages. There's no other jobs on the board that we need to do tonight, and we're good to go. The smell of fresh air. The interesting thing about nights is that come morning, because it's so bright, you're just so much more awake than halfway through the night. All right, we're finally home and we've finished our night shifts for good. The set is all done and we can have a few days off to rest and relax. Because I work the Saturday and Sunday, I'm getting Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday off before going back to work on Thursday, Friday. But it's a lovely day outside, I gotta say. It's so sunny, it's so nice and warm. I'm definitely going to the beach after this. I'm gonna have some breakfast, quick power nap to make sure I don't crash on the road, and yeah, go to the beach, relax, and enjoy the day. So, we'll see you later. Ooh, feels so weird every time you put it in.